Zentangle is known to many artists as a way to create structured designs through drawing various patterns. It also can be known as an art therapy practice to enhance relaxation and focus. It is most often done with black lines on white paper. The Zentangle design itself does not actually look like something. It's very abstract, but we're going to use some of our Zentangles to fill in either the positive or negative space on a representational drawing. Repetition is created when we repeat something. Lines and shapes are repeated to create patterns. Variety is made when we create many different types of patterns. And contrast is created when some dark areas are placed next to some light areas. You may want to come back to this page and the one before this for some ideas when it's time to create your Zentangle designs. There's a lot of lines, shapes, and repetitions in Zentangles. Consider these your learning goals. I can emphasize my positive and negative space within my drawing. I can create art that is abstract, and I can use repetition to create a variety of patterns. What do we mean by positive space? Well, think of the animal or the subject as being the positive space. It is the solid object, and you will be filling it in, not solid, but with patterns of Zentangles. The negative space would be the surrounding white area. In these examples, the negative space is what's emphasized with the Zentangle design. They left the subject white and used all the designs and line elements to fill in the negative space or the background. This student chose to fill in the snake with the Zentangle design, but you might choose to do it the other way and fill in the background. What's very important is that you make your subject large. It should not be small, but take up the whole paper. To begin, we're going to draw one simple subject in the middle of our paper. It can be an animal, or a man-made object like a sports car, or a flower or a tree. I'm going to draw a cat. I would suggest you draw with pencil first and then outline in black marker. I'm just skipping that stage and going to the black marker now, but it might save a lot of paper if you do it first in pencil and then outline in black marker. The next thing I'd like you to do is draw 5 or 6 lines dividing your subject into spaces. Each one of those spaces will become a different Zentangle design. Don't leave any space too big. If you need some ideas, go back to the earlier slide that showed examples of many different Zentangle ideas. In the first paw, I'm making a concentric circle design. But I'm going to try to do something completely different in every one of my spaces, so try not to repeat the same design twice. Artistically, it's a great idea to have some solid black areas, so find some spaces that would look nice filled in with black marker. You can decide how much of the face you want to cover with the Zentangle designs, or how much do you want to be able to see the facial features. When you're done drawing with your black marker, it's a good stopping point. You've now reached the end of part 1. Part 2 will be adding color. Welcome back to part 2. Now we'll be adding some color. If you had your Zentangle design in the negative space and you have a white animal, you can color that animal in using paints, markers, crayons, colored pencils, or you could even choose to leave it white if that's the effect you'd like to keep. Another option is to add some color to the Zentangle behind the white animal. These two students drew their Zentangle inside their animal. and then they cut out the animal and glued it onto colored construction paper. You can see, especially with the bunny, it was glued onto lavender, and then they cut a bunny out of that and glued it onto the purple, and cut a bunny out of that and glued it onto the pink. Be sure to leave the colored construction paper showing as a border around each of the animal shapes you cut. Another idea is to use paint and paint a ring around the animal with one color, and another color for a second ring, and a third color for the next ring, or maybe make a repeated AB pattern with the same two colors. Fill all the surrounding paper with paints, but don't fill in the Zentangles. Here I'm showing how it looks with crayon. I outlined a border with purple, and then blue, and then green. Each one of these borders is a little bit larger, and they go off the page and back on again, and I can fill all those in with color. Please don't be concerned that your animal does not look realistic, because our goal was to make an abstract picture, and abstract means it does not look very realistic. It's more artistic, less realistic.